The TWU, back in the 30s, is the owners' union that did not discriminate. Black, white, brown, yellow was welcome in its union. TWU is lived by that tradition.
The TWU has a number of ad hoc committees.
Working Women's Committee, the Veterans Committee.
It's an opportunity to bring people together, educate people, mobilize people.
The Civil and Human Rights Committee.
In order to move the agenda forward for their causes that they need help in.
We're in San Antonio, Texas. Atlanta, Georgia.
We're in Washington, D.C.
We're in Houston, Texas.
Celebrating Martin Luther King.
Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, people want to know, who we are, mighty, union.
I'm a pretty active member in 556, but this is the first time I've actually experienced being with different locals. It's a great experience.
You get to see how powerful TWU is when we all get together like this.
1, 2, 3.
We come together and we share stories, we share our concerns, we share our wins, our losses.
We exchange ideas based on our experiences from one end of the country to the other.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is known for his great speeches. But first and foremost, brothers and sisters, he was an organizer.
So my slogan is not burn, baby, burn. My slogan is build, baby, build. Organize, baby, organize.
This is one of the best feelings that I get when I get together with my other brothers and sisters from around the country and we do this kind of work.
It gives you a little pep in your step. You leave wanting to do more, to get more things done.
Alpha Home is a nonprofit substance abuse treatment center for women in San Antonio. We don't have the funds available to hire a grounds crew on a regular basis. We're pleased and delighted to have the Transport Workers Union of America.
Raking, mulching, picking up trash, trimming trees.
We swept the sidewalks off, cleaned up, make sure everything looks nice and pretty.
It's rewarding to see the smiles on some of the residents' faces.
To see that you can help, it makes you feel good inside.
We're at English Park in Southwest Atlanta.
We are painting benches, we are picking up trash, making it pretty for the community to enjoy.
We are at the Metropolitan Community Church.
Today we're doing community service for We Are Family. Delivered canned foods and boxed foods to senior citizens within the community.
Houston Food Bank feeds underprivileged families in the Houston area. Vegetables, canned goods, or their perishables, we sort them out.
Making sure everything is labeled. Then we loaded them onto the conveyor belt.
We put it on a skid.
And then they're shipped out to the different distribution centers in the area.
It's so important to give as much time that you have to your community.
In the 1960s, Texas was a very segregated place. People who lived in black and brown communities were very much without the very basic rights.
At the historical marker, that spot used to be Wine Garden Grocers. That's where the Houston first sit-in began.
That would not serve African Americans to sit at the counter. You could come in and buy things, but you couldn't sit there and eat or get a glass of water.
17 students marched from TSU. I happen to be one of those members.
It was great to be there with a living legend. I've read about the stories, I've seen it on television, but I've never really met anyone who was actually a part of the sit-in.
We have to understand what our forefathers have fought for, what union stands for. It's a legacy of empowerment.
We understand the dream, we understand the vision that Dr. King had, and we want to fulfill that obligation.
Growing up in the inner city, we were on welfare. My family could not afford for me to go to college. I thought I could continue to experience aviation by volunteering to go into the Air Force.
I was the first one since World War II to serve in my family. I felt the duty to do it.
It's something that you got to have in your heart already. This is what I want to provide, not just for my family, but for the whole free world.
We are a family amongst our own.
Brother, sisterhood.
And we're in the mission together.
To support and to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That is an oath every military member takes.
For me, as a veteran, what's most important is that our veterans are taken care of. We have done better, but we have a long way to go.
The Veterans Committee, incredibly politically active officers and rank and filers. They've made trips up to the state capitol in Albany to specifically lobby for legislation at the state capitol. Air Transport Division has a long history of veterans activism, showing a TWU presence and showing TWU care for the veterans that have come home. There's a need to physically nurture our returning veterans, and there's also a need to get involved in the political realm to advance the cause of veterans. We're looking for solutions going forward as to how to make an integrated National Veterans Committee as effective as it can possibly be.
We're in San Antonio at the Brooke Army Medical Center serving the wounded soldiers and their families that are currently in the hospital.
We're providing toys, food, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, pillowcases, blankets,
Diapers, clothing.
men's clothes, females' clothes, kids' clothes. Oh, and don't forget the shoes.
We've had well over 20,000 items that were made available to our warriors and their families as they came through to shop today.
We reached out to all the locals to see if they can donate either goods or money.
We have been shipping donated goods since June from New York, from Miami, from Chicago.
TWU alone raised over $72,000.
It's our duty to show our commitment as working class people and veterans to show how we care. We met a hometown boy. He was an amputee, you know, from the 101st Airborne. That really meant a lot to me because he was a hometown kid.
A wounded warrior who was in a wheelchair last year. Today I shook his hand, he's on his own feet and he's walking. And I told him next year we're doing a marathon.
One, we wanted the state of New York to accept the federal government's definition of what a veteran is. If you served, you're a veteran.
One, they had to bring up a bill for every single conflict. Like Kosovo was never covered. Somalia was never covered. We have people that were there being shot at on the ground, and they're not covered. They can't buy back their time.
We got bills written, and we tracked them to the committee. The next spring, we had 2 more lobby days. We had the General TWU Lobby Day. Guys coming out of Afghanistan, the young kids who were fighting there, are going to have to wait till they're 68 to retire unless we get this bill passed.
The first international committee to be unified was the Veterans Committee. So the next thing we did was to unify the Working Women's Committee.
We are in Washington, D.C., and we're at the Women's Committee meeting.
The rail, transit, gaming, airlines, and utility maintenance together as one.
It's very important to become one body.
We're all from different companies, different jobs, but we're all women trying to make it in a man's world. It's a lot for women, and you need other women to turn to, and you need other women to support you.
Working together is what this Women's Committee do.
You never let a sister walk alone.
I work for National Grid. I'm the only female in my department.
Sometimes you're in rooms that you don't see women at all.
We're basically in a non-traditional role.
And we want the same opportunity afforded to us as it is to anyone else.
By learning about each other's jobs and contracts and challenges, we are building solidarity within the organization.
As a bus operator, we still have issues with bathroom facilities that we can use, that are clean, that are sanitary, that are even available.
Pay issues, men make more than women.
Being able to make sure that we maintain our jobs if we become pregnant. Having to work while pregnant is something a man will never have to experience. It's not easy. You're out there on your knees in bellies of planes.
We had several women within our local that were struggling, and they don't have a lot of sick time and a lot of vacation time. They were going to cut their maternity time short because they couldn't afford to be off work.
We're lobbying up on the Hill to protect women from being forced out on leave when they could have an alternative light duty position and maintain the income.
It's to help keep women in the workforce while they're pregnant and not be discriminated against.
This was my first time to ever lobby.
We had some great conversations with some of the representatives.
Very good reception.
We need to be up there fighting for our rights, just like everybody else. We are seeing women come out of the committee jumping into leadership roles.
My first trip to the Women's Committee, it really got me involved. And so I became a shop steward. A couple of years later, I ran for executive board and won.
I'm actually one of the first women that have served as a chairman
chairmen in the elected positions. This is the 1950s.
Their treasurers, their secretaries, their presidents.
Without the Working Women's Committee, I don't think I would be the person I am today or the leader that I am.
I fight just as hard as a man, and don't disregard me because I'm a woman.
I think it shows the membership that your heart's in the right place, that you have a passion for the work.
I'm a bus operator by trade. Any lane is my lane.
1, 2, 3! TWU!
Whether it's the Veterans Committee, whether it's the Working Women's Committee, Human and Civil Rights, I think it's just great to expand our reach just as human beings to be out there in the community to help each other.
The more people we reach out to, the more people we can bring in.
So that we can take what we have and give it away. Because all of us are time travelers. We're not going to be here very long.
And it's up to us to keep it going.